Hi there, welcome back to the Community of Readers video blog. We're following the Old Testament readings for the Monkey Bar Challenge, and this week we're looking at the book of Ecclesiastes. This is called The Absurdity of Death. Ecclesiastes is, in my opinion, the most contemporary of all the works of the Old Testament. It would happily sit amongst many postmodern philosophers. It has much to say about life and death. Ecclesiastes is written by the teacher, or Qoheleth, to use the commonly used Hebrew name, and it centres around this word. In Hebrew it's called hevel. The NIV translates it meaningless. So the famous opening phrase, meaningless, meaningless, everything is meaningless. But there's a lot of debate about whether meaningless is really the right way to translate hevel. The NRSV, for example, translates it absurd. And that's a translation which makes a great deal more sense to me, for one crucial reason. In Ecclesiastes, life is the subject of an experiment. Although it's in very poetic form, there's a clear empirical method at work. Life is the subject and the wisest man its examiner. And the conclusion? It doesn't make sense. Death is the teacher's mighty enemy. The fact that everything will end makes all projects of scope, all myths of advancement, absurd. But here's the crucial thing. There is meaning. Unless, of course, you found meaning in life through the enduring purpose of things, in which case you'll need a sympathetic counselling session with Qoheleth. But meaning is found, wait for it, chapter 2, in chapter 3, in chapter 5, in chapter 8, in chapter 9. Yes, in eating, drinking, and finding enjoyment in your work. Jean-Francois Lyotard famously defined postmodern as incredulity toward meta-narratives. In other words, a kind of healthy skepticism of any kind of overarching rational theory that tries to make sense of everything. And Qoheleth would find a great companionship with that idea, because it's not meaning that is the subject of his critique. It's overconfidence in rational wisdom. In the same way that during the Enlightenment period, there was this ridiculous confidence in what we can know and how our rational faculties can make sense of life and analyse it. So in the same way, the wisdom tradition of Israel had become overconfident in its rational abilities. And the teacher, Qoheleth, is an iconoclast, using Solomon, ironically, to tear down this edifice of rational confidence. Things still matter, though, but only if you get close enough to them. So this video blog, for example, it doesn't matter from a global perspective. It's completely insignificant. And yet to me, it matters. Lots of things matter if you get close to them. Being far away doesn't take away their mattering. Now, the power of this idea shouldn't be underestimated. Fueled by a world full of questions, postmodern culture, by and large, has been defined by this quest for an ever more intense experience. Whether it's clubs, bars, cinemas, theme parks, extreme sport, niche fashion, music, video games, even charismatic Christian meetings, are all designed to provide an ever increased moment of intense emotion, whether it's fear or desire or exhilaration or love. And the danger, of course, is that every time you have this new intense experience, it so raises the bar of what is normal that you need a new high to beat it. The idea of cherishing the very ordinary, mundane tasks of eating and drinking and finding enjoyment in your work is a powerful counterforce. Could it be, in fact, that Ecclesiastes might be the paracetamol we need to cure the hangover of our multi-sensory long night out? Let's hit the pause button for one moment before we replay. Think about our context. In our fast-paced, multi-ethnic, pluralist, technology culture, where do you find meaning? And how do you feel about the undermining of things that once seemed certain? When my garden hedges grow to become mazes, and my ornaments crack to become impossible puzzles, and my tidy house becomes a haven for disorder, I lift my eyes to this light-polluted sky. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the author of all things. Let's hit play. It is the modern myth of progress, however, that most flounders in the tepid marshlands of Colette's mind. The idea that everything will end, it's not just that things will end that makes them absurd, but that they are ended by death. For Colette, death doesn't just kill people. It kills ambition. It kills purpose. It kills self-importance. Now, as Christians, we approach Ecclesiastes with a different perspective on death to its author. The hope of resurrection, and with it, the things of this life taking on a significance into the life to come. But we could very easily see this as a convenient bridge over the teacher's quagmire. But face up to death, and a colourless finality looms. Because the reality is that we will all have to face death, however much we've invested in the life to come. We will all have to be subject to utter decay. At some point, we will have to lose everything we have ever worked for and everyone we have ever loved. This should make us sad. It should make us angry. And when we scream, "What's the point?" then we have heard the teacher. Ecclesiastes is the antidote to a life consumed with purpose. It humbles us with our own mortality, and it reduces our confidence. God will meet us here. and offer us his hand, a hand marked by the scars of death. The positive power of Colet's acknowledgement of death is that it opens up cracks in the very near and immediate. The ordinary things that may have seemed just mundane or even boring. Have we been so involved, so consumed by dreams beyond our small world, that we failed to notice the healing power of what has been right under our noses all along? I can't stop this train, get off, postpone my journey. Can't make it stop, speed up, or stand it still. Can't turn it left or right round in a circle. Can't make it mine. Heed me, obey my will. This train will someday crash. I fear the impact. This shattered train will soon forget me. I am small, and my impact is smaller. My father of time, my mother of light remembers. Out of nothing she plucks my memory. Out of chaos he holds me still.